I make at least $26,000 every single day, and here's a screenshot as proof. And it's crazy because I didn't come into this with any special skills. I had no prior education on this. I wasn't an expert. I was a nobody online. I wasn't famous. In fact, I didn't even get online until I was in my 20s. I didn't try to leverage other people's traffic like Etsy or Amazon. And I did it practically free minus a booking link, Elite 360 software, so elite360.io, and a little grit and determination. And I even did it in my parents' spare bedroom. In today's video, I'm gonna break this down for you guys completely raw and transparently, not use a script or anything. I do have bullet points here, but it won't be scripted. I'm gonna tell you about my story, how you can get your own idea with actual examples, how to create blue ocean offers, how to drive traffic. And this is gonna be one of the most valuable videos you watch this entire year because I'm trying to make each video better and better and better. And I wanna help you guys for free to make money online. So eventually I'll earn your trust. And then either you can go off, make your own fortune, or you'll trust me enough to do business with me. And that's really the only two reasons I do this. So if you can't sit down and watch this for free, then you really, to be honest, don't deserve to be successful. This isn't gonna be some hypey and highly animated video. You're just gonna have to sit down and pay attention. If you can't do that, you might as well just click off right now. But if you can, this is gonna be one of the most valuable videos you've ever seen. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So before I get into the actual teaching, I wanna give you guys a little background on my story. So I started off by trying to sell a $47 fitness program at 22 years old. That's where my business journey starts. By age 25, I'd only made 2 grand. So I'd failed pretty miserably at that point. I switched to selling high ticket fitness programs at $1,500. So I went from $47 to $1,500, okay? And then I worked up from there. Things started to take off at that point. And it makes sense because in a month, let's say you make 3 grand, which is what I was making at the time. If you start making sales at $1,500, you make 3 sales a month, you're making more than you make at your entire job for an entire month. That's what really got me off the ground. That's why I'm gonna also recommend that you start with the high ticket service, right? Because it's basically free, you're selling information, and you can make a lot of money really fast. And the point is that once you replace your income, then you can go full-time on your business. When you go full-time on your business, things will absolutely blow up. So things started to take off. I made $1 million in a year, and I got my first award from ClickFunnels for using their software. Okay, I'm gonna throw some proof on the board. I did so well with that offer that I had personal trainers from all over the world start asking me for help, mostly in the US, but I have people from Australia, United Kingdom, Dubai, Ireland, Canada, et cetera, et cetera. At first, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to become some guru because I get a lot of hate on the internet, right? Like probably I'll get hate on this video, but they kept asking me, and so I finally gave in. The next year to this day was the craziest year of my life. I went from $1 million in a year to 10 million. I made $10 million that year. And again, I got another award from ClickFunnels for doing over 10 million, okay? I had more people outside of the fitness industry start asking me for help, okay? And then I started helping those individuals, and then I did 15 million the next year. And then after that, I did 25 million a year for a few years. And then I won a $100 million award from ClickFunnels, and I'll show that on the screen. And here I am, okay? And I've obviously made more money since that time. I just don't like to update it every single video because it gets a little bit annoying. Now, before I show you what strategies I use to make at least $26,000 a day, I'm gonna show it all from the emails, the text, the scripts, the funnels, you know, etc. I wanna be transparent and say that nothing works forever. Most of the gurus you see on the internet haven't had any lasting success whatsoever. So they make a few bucks here and there, and then they think they have it all figured out. They get a few Lambos, which they usually lease and rent, which is pretty simple. Like the other day I talked about how I invested $2 million. Like obviously you have to have the money, and like that could buy me a trillion Lambos because you only have to put down a small 20% payment. So I could have like 6 Lambo Aventadors, or I could get 1 Bugatti, or like it just really isn't that impressive when you start understanding the scope of money. So over the years, I've changed strategies on business because what works at some point doesn't always work forever. And that's why people go out of business. I've been in business for 8 years now. Like what worked year 1 does not work in year 8, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I'm going to recommend you can start any type of business, a product business, Amazon, Etsy, like whatever. I recommend you start a service-based business, and here's why. It's 100% profit to start because it's only you. You're just trading your time, right? And a lot of you don't have money, so trading your time is the only option you have. And you don't have to go learn how to make a product and how to outsource it and how to get it wholesale and then try to get margin. Like this is one of the highest ROI offers you can do with the least amount of risk. And so in the beginning of business, if you think about what are you trying to do? You're trying to mitigate your risk, maximize your upside. There is no better upside than selling a service-based business. So the businesses I've had to start, I sold online fitness coaching. I sold online consulting to personal trainers. I sold online consulting to their business owners. Now I have other portfolio companies and tech companies, and now I'm investing, you know, millions and millions of dollars every single year into different investments. But like I started zero. I didn't have any outside capital, nothing from my parents. So this is the best model. And I've tried other models. They're not good. This is the best model. I don't get anything for saying that. I'm just telling you guys the actual truth from my actual experience, okay? So you wanna create, when I say service-based, really, we're talking about digital products, right? So online fitness coaching, you could say it's a digital product. Online consulting, it's a digital product. Agencies, whatever. Like anything where you're giving a service, essentially, online, and it's basically just trading time for money. And then eventually people go, well, Tanner, did you trade time for money forever? Obviously not, like I built a team. And then the team is spending their time, but you're not, okay? So I wanna talk about how to get ideas for your service-based business, or we'll say digital product. So you can write down a list and think of these things. These are things to think about, okay? So just, you guys can write this down, and you can pause the video, but you must look at your current skill set, okay? So I've been in fitness my entire life. I played Division I football, fitness, makes sense. What have you achieved over the last 5 years? Again, I played Division I football. I'd been the team captain in high school, et cetera, like it made sense. What comes easy for you that's difficult for others? Again, for me, it was fitness. Could be something else for you. What do others come to you for advice on? Have you ever given someone help with something? If you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself? Okay, usually that would be the product, right? Like you would teach yourself something. What would you teach your younger self? Same thing. What challenges have you gone through in life and overcome? What problems have you solved for yourself? What could you talk about all day long without getting bored? What would people pay to learn from you and see if others are doing it? So teach something you actually know. The first business you have should not be a home run. We're not trying to make the next Amazon here. We're just trying to make $10,000. So teach something you know. You don't have to be the best expert at it. It doesn't have to be the best business in the world or the best product. Just teach something you know that other people find valuable. Let me give you a couple examples of clients I've had. I had a client who sold basketball coaching. He makes $100,000 a month with a low ticket offer, which is actually opposite of what I teach, but it works for him. We have a client who teaches how to do handstands. I have a client who taught how to make a magnificent garden. Those are weird ass businesses too. Imagine if you have a normal business. Most businesses and most offers, digital products, you want it to revolve around health, wealth, or relationships. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that, but whatever you teach has to tie back to one of those things. So when I sold fitness, health. When I teach business consulting, wealth. If I was a relationship coach, it's like getting more dates, staying married, not getting divorced. Like even a retreat I just went to is for relationships. Like I just went to a week-long retreat at what's called the Hoffman process. I went there for relationships, right? Like that's something I want to improve in my life. If I go to a business seminar, it's for money. Like you do things for the result. You're not doing things because you necessarily enjoy doing it. Sometimes you do, but lots of times you don't. Now, if you don't know anything, you can go to udemy.com or allison.com and you can learn a skill there. So I'll have my editors throw that up on the screen, but udemy.com, you can type in Facebook ads and get a course, one of the best courses in the world for like 25 bucks. You can go to allison.com, ALISON.com. I'm not affiliated with either of these companies, and you can take a course for free. So when people say they don't know stuff, it's like, yes, it's because you're just being lazy. Like you can definitely learn that. It's like super easy. What you learn in school will not make you rich. What you learn outside of school is what will make you rich, okay? So a couple examples that I wrote down: writing, okay? You could learn these on these sites. Storytelling, public speaking. Like if you could teach people this stuff, of course. How to make muscle, how to code. Code is a huge one. If you could code now, oh my gosh, with AI, it's crazy what you can do. Blogs, building computers, overcoming addiction, big one. Huge market for that. Growing social media, big one. Filmmaking, email marketing, big one. Playing guitar. I had a client who does that, teaches people how to play guitar, right, at a high level. Does super well. Investing, mindset, sales coaching, job placements, drawing, day trading. It's one of my portfolio companies. SAT, ACT prep can crush, especially if you sell it to the parents, because they'll pay just about anything. One of my clients, I'm gonna go into in just a second, as a company that helps high school students get into Ivy League schools. Crushes, right? And she could get $20,000, $40,000 payments because these parents will do just about anything. Giving to Ivy League schools super hard. Dating coach, okay? So clients I have, to give you examples, real life clients, one's name is Ranjit. He helps people get EBT1 green cards. Huge market for that. Big need, right? So it's like the reason they want the green card is to come to America and have better relationships, make more money, right? Goes back to the health, wealth, and relationships. Another client is named Cynthia. She helps high school students get into Ivy League colleges. Why? They want to make more money, wealth. Two other clients is power couple, Audrey and Mason. They do a fitness offer, okay? Health. I have another client, Kyle. He sells a day trading offer, wealth, right? So everything you're seeing, it's like it's revolved around those things. It has to be, okay? Now that I've given you some things that you could possibly do, how do you find the offers, right? So we already talked about health, wealth, and relationships. That's out of the way. Okay, then you have to have some type of system to get results, okay? And usually that's gonna be in the form of what I call USP, or unique selling proposition. So what a lot of people do is they'll say, hey, I help people get in shape, okay? I help people make money. Oh my, like, I help people get more dates. Like, no, dude. There's a million other people who say that. So if you charge $3,000 or 1,500 bucks and this guy charges 50, who are they gonna hire? The cheaper guy, of course. It's like getting, this is a caffeinated drink. If this was $100, I would just get a cheaper one. Why? Because it's a commodity. Who gives a shit? It's just caffeine. It's like, I don't care. So what you have to do is you have to explain your offer in a way that makes people think you're better. For example, when I sold fitness, I said how to eat whatever you want without sabotaging results. All that really means is calorie counting and if it fits your macro. So because if you eat less than your body needs, you lose weight. If you eat more than your body needs, you gain weight. It's like not complex. But I said that to people because like, wait, like how can I eat whatever I want without sabotaging results? And that got their foot in the door because it created curiosity. The key is for your unique selling proposition, it needs to create curiosity. For business, I said book 70% more sales calls using conversion conversations. Now, conversion conversations, people will be like, what is that? But all it really is like send emails, send text messages, dial everyone, retargeting ads, Facebook groups, live events. Like it's a whole ecosystem that increases application rates, AKA sales calls, which increases revenue, right? Like it's not really that complex. And to be frank, when you hire people, a lot of times like there's gonna be similarities to what they do, but if they think you're different, like they think, you're not trying to be dishonest, but they have to think you're different, they'll pay you more money. Like it's like, why would I hire LeBron James or Michael Jordan as my coach instead of a high school teacher? It's like, they're better. So it's like, I'll pay more, but it's technically the same service, right? This is your USP, your unique selling proposition. For dating, I'd say get 50% more dates without cold approaching or DMing. So it's like, you're saying, hey, here's how to get more dates, but without that bullshit that most people sell. So it's unique. So if you don't know how to present in a unique way, go to ChatGPT, hire a coach. There's a link down below if you guys need our help and figure that out. That's huge because if you just say, I help people get in shape, I help people make money, I help people run out, it's like, it's so boring and you're not gonna win. You're not, okay? The next thing you can do is, this is newer and I didn't use this when I started, but if you're, you lived under a rock, Alex Hormozi, good friend of mine, he wrote a book called $100 Million Offers. Super smart guy, super rich, super jacked if you haven't seen him. He came up with a formula that was determined outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement. Okay, I'm gonna show this on the screen. Divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. So what he basically said is, look, there's 4 components to an offer. The better each one of those is, the better the offer. So for example, determined outcome, let's just take my fitness offer through it. Determined outcome, lose 20 pounds of fat. Okay, that's good, check. Perceived likelihood of achievement. How likely is it they'll be successful? Pretty low, really low. Like most people stay fat forever. I mean, there's a huge epidemic, right? Like obesity is huge. So most people fail. So that's an X. Time delay, takes like 3 to 4 months, let's say. It takes a while. Effort and sacrifice takes a lot. So that's only 1 out of 4. So can you sell that? Yeah, I proved it. But that means you have to be better at skills. You have to be better at messaging. You have to be better at sales. You have to be better at fulfillment. You have to be better at operations. Like you have to be a better business owner. So if I'm a coach and I've consulted, over 50,000 people over the last 6-7 years, you need to have better skills there. But if I take, let's say, a day trading offer. So let's take one of my portfolio companies. Determined outcome, make more money. Check. Perceived likelihood of achievement, pretty high. It's a 2-to-1 win ratio because it's a technology that day trades for you. Time delay, instantaneous. Effort and sacrifice, 0, because the trading software trades for you. So is it easier to sell that? Yeah, right? So if you take a great offer and mix it with sales skills, messaging skills, conversational skills, business skills, etc. Like, holy, you'll make a ton of money. The billionaires have good offers plus great skills, okay? Now, you don't have to have the best offer in the world to start. That's not the point I'm trying to make. In fact, fitness is not a great offer and business consulting is not a great offer. It's super competitive. That's just kind of the path I was pushed on. Now that I have more money and capital and experience, I can start building these other companies that have higher leverage, right? But I just bring this up so that you know how good your offer really is. So 1 out of 4, not great. 4 out of 4, fantastic. You also need to make it realistic, right? So someone says, well, Tanner, like, how can I, increase results with fitness and decrease their effort and sacrifice? Well, you could pump them full of steroids or you could give them liposuction surgery, but then, that doesn't even make business sense because now you're paying 5 or 10 grand for a client and then there's no profit margin. You get what I'm saying? Like you can make offers better, but it also has to be realistic. It's something you can do day to day, okay? Now, once you've figured out your offer, okay, you've gone to udemy.com, alison.com, like you kind of know what you want help with, okay? If you need help with this stuff, there's links in the description. So then you want to build a minimum viable product. So MVP, why? Because a lot of people, if you watch Shark Tank, this drives me absolutely crazy. These people get on Shark Tank and they're like, hey, I mortgaged my house. I almost got divorced. I've taken every last dollar to hope this product works. We have no sales. It's like, dude, I hope this works. And it usually doesn't. And there's a ton of risk because it's low ticket. What I would do instead is when I did fitness coaching, before I ever built anything, I sold it. And then when I sold it, I said, hey, give me 2 to 3 days. I'm gonna work on your plan, And then I pieced it together and that was my first client. You sell it first to make sure that you can actually sell it, because if you can't sell it, there's no point in having a great product you can't sell. It has to be sold. And so sell it, before you build it, right? And so what I did is I sold it 2 to 3 days, built the stuff. I just used an Excel sheet and Google Docs to start. And then once I had a couple clients, then I used Trainer Chat, and there's PG Distinction, and there's My Coach AI, where you can actually build out a better software for clients. But I didn't do that to start. I didn't, okay? You wanna sell it, and then you can build it out and make it better, okay? And to be frank, if you're like, well, I don't know what to do or how to coach, it's like, just get on Zoom, get on a Zoom call, coach them, record those videos, and then what you can do is either edit those and make those your curriculum, or you'll know what they want, and then you can build out your curriculum from there. But to start, doing one-to-one is great because you're gonna learn the most. I wouldn't go and build stuff out, because then you got clients who come in and you're teaching them a bunch of that they don't want to know, right? It ultimately comes down to the client results and what they want to know. Now, all I had to do to use this stuff is one piece of software. It's called elite360.io. Okay, you can get a 7-day free trial if you go to that site, and it's 97 bucks a month. Okay, if you don't want to use that, if you got, let's say, Google Drive, ScreenFlow, and ClickFunnels, because ScreenFlow is for videos, ClickFunnels is for sites. I use Elite360 for all this stuff. Or Google Drive, it's like 200 bucks a month. Okay, so it's like you don't need a ton of. Like, a lot of people act like they need all these things to build a business. It's like, it's both, you know, like that's all I used. Okay, so Elite360 has my funnels. I can do my texts and emails from there. I can have my call calendar. Like, it has everything in one place, and it's 97 bucks a month. Okay, if you can't do 97 bucks a month, like, borrow some money from a friend, or like, you know, go sell feet pictures or something. Like, you got to figure out, like, it's $97. You got to figure out. Okay, now from here, we have to start figuring out how to get traffic. Keep in mind, I'm talking to a beginner. You don't have any money. Like, you're broke, you don't have any skills. So we have to figure out free ways to get traffic. So what is good about free is it's free. What's bad is it's gonna be harder. That's the trade-off. If you want stuff to be fast, you gotta have money, okay? So what I start with is organic. Okay, organic just means you're posting content or you're reaching out to someone completely free. Now, I would not recommend posting. Why? Because organic is hard, and gurus will say it's easy. Like, oh, it's so easy to go viral. Like, oh, everyone does it. You just gotta stick with it. It's like, okay, I've been on YouTube for years, and I have 30,000 subs, and I've posted thousands of videos, thousands, okay? Now, I've also been running businesses, and I'm a business owner first, content creator second. But posting content is not a great way to get rich. Like, that's how people think you get rich. It's like, you can if you blow up, but like, what's the chances you blow up? It's minimal. So it's usually not the best way to do it. So what I did is I reached out to people. All I did is I started with my followers, and then I moved into cold traffic after. So followers is people who follow you. Cold traffic is strangers, like people you just find in like Facebook groups, Instagram, IG hashtags, stuff like that, okay? So when you're starting out and you're messaging your followers, you wanna reach out to 100 people, about 20 per hour, because 20 per hour is about what you can do without getting a spam block, okay? If you wanna push it, and you'll kind of see that. 100 per day, 20 per hour, you'll get about 30% who respond who are followers, and then 10% should book a call. Okay, so that's about 3 calls. From those 3 calls, the goal should be to close at least 1. Now, if your skills suck, if you suck at sales, if you suck at messaging, etc., and your numbers are not hitting what I just said, you suck, and you need to hire someone, or you need to go on YouTube, or like do whatever you have to do, but like, you're not good. So don't say the process doesn't work, just admit you're not good, okay? It drives me nuts when people say that. It's like, yeah, it's hard, no, like, otherwise everyone would be rich. But if you're not hitting that, then you need to build the skill. How do you build skill? Try over and over and over and over and over until you win. That's how I made all my money. Like, I didn't get a handout, I just made it work. If you're doing cold DMs, the difference will be you'll get the same numbers, but 10% will reply. Why? Because they're strangers, they don't know who you are, okay? Takes a little bit more skill, okay? If you don't know how to do these things, this is what my team and my company helps with, okay? Because I've learned these. Now, once you get that to work, you wanna move into paid ads, okay? So the way my journey started is I had no money, made a couple sales from reaching out to my followers and strangers, made some sales, made $10,000 in my first week, not typical, but that's what happened for me. And then I took that money and I put it into ads. And so what would happen with ads is I'd spend $1,000, I'd get 100 leads, 10 bucks a lead for fitness, okay? I'd get 10 calls, so 10%, so 100 leads, 10 people will book a call, and then I'd close 1. So if I spend $1,000 and I sell it for $3,000, which is what I sold it at, $3,200 actually for 4 months. That's $2,200 of profit, and then I just rinse and repeat that to 115 million at 30% profit, and what, like, I mean, I'm a decamillionaire many times over. That's how I make $26,000 every single day minimum. And I have some days where I'll do 100,000, 200,000, etc., because I have different companies and different paydays and stuff like that. That's how you can do it. It's that simple. But if you're not willing to put in the work, then you probably don't deserve it. So if you do need help, there's links down in the description below. If you don't need help or you don't want help, go to those free sites that I mentioned. There's a million ways to win. You just have to have it inside. Okay, so if you need help, check out the links down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.